Well, folks, here we again for the weekly forecast. During this last week, the only significant weather that we really experienced was during the weekend. We had a couple of frontal boundaries pass through the state, increased our wind speeds, and dropped a little bit of light flurry activity across extreme northern Nebraska. But the primary emphasis for the precipitation was in the Dakotas and Iowa, where we actually did see some blizzard conditions temporarily with the frontal system that passed during the Saturday night, Sunday time frame. Now, as we go through this next 7-day period, we are looking at a couple systems moving through once again this weekend, but overall it looks like a dry pattern set up for the state of Nebraska for this next 7-day period, which actually is pretty good news when you consider how much moisture was received over a substantial portion of the state early in the month. We've been very wet now for the better part of the last 3 months, and we could use a few weeks of drying to at least get the surfaces dried up enough so that when we do start to see the precipitation return, at least we can handle some of it without seeing extreme runoff. That being said, there is some evidence within the models that as we get toward this last half of this month that we will see the cold air return to the eastern United States as the upper air trough deepens, but in the same token, some very active weather moving in the western United States. So at some point, those two areas are going to merge, and that looks to be in the central United States, and we'll see whether or not we can generate some significant storm activity as we move into the late part of the month into early part of February. Otherwise, let's take a look at the upper air models. As we go through this next 7 days, you'll see the first system that's going to move through is going to occur through today. This system will rapidly move toward the Great Lakes. We'll see a little sag in the jet stream toward the south, but it looks like at the surface we will only see a 4 or 5 degree temperature change as the system pushes the cool air to our region, and then the main activity in terms of precipitation stays well to our north. As we go to tomorrow, you can see that system moves over to the Great Lakes. There's another piece of energy that's going to try to dive down on the south side. This looks like it's going to be focused more on northeast and potentially east central Nebraska with a few sprinkles at the most. More often than not, we're going to just see cloudy conditions. There's just not a lot of Gulf moisture that's going to return with this. It's going to be more coming at the moisture source is going to come out of the Pacific, and of course the frontal boundary moving out of the central portions of the prairie regions of Canada, which is a very dry area. Now, as we go into Monday, we will see the system sagging just a little bit more, and another piece of energy looks like it's going to dive through this, but it's going to break up as it comes over the mountains, so there's not going to be a lot of moisture associated with this. Best opportunity for precipitation will be across the extreme western part of the state in the Panhandle region. And then as we go into Tuesday, these models currently drive the cold air well to our south. Under the scenario, we see much colder conditions than have temporarily been forecasted, and the models seem to be emphasizing this cold air push. I think it's overdone. So we're going to be cool on Tuesday, but we're not going to be exceptionally cool. We're still going to be a degree or two above normal for most of the state, primarily in the low to mid 40s, with the outside chance for some sprinkles developing across northeast Nebraska. And then on Wednesday, we start to see the ridge trying to build in, so we bring some warmer air back into our region, but yet another push of cold air looks like it may be on the way as we get into late Thursday, and then here it comes Thursday. The cold push toward the Great Lakes may actually push a little bit of cool air back toward our region, but overall, again, we're still looking at very nice conditions. And on Friday, we continue the same trend as the ridge starts to push this upper air trough well to our northeast. Now, in terms of the 8 to 14-day forecast, next Thursday, the following Tuesday, with that ridge building in, above normal temperatures looks to be in the cards, and we will look to see an absence of precipitation. More importantly, the new long lead outlooks for the month of March are in, showing a strong trend for above normal moisture, particularly western Kansas, western Oklahoma. And as we get into the March through May forecast, once again, we see the above normal tendencies for the Central Plains.